The majority in Northern Ireland and Scotland voted to stay in the EU. This made the nationalists very excited. The possibility of a united Ireland, the possibility of independent Scotland. I'm sorry to dash your hopes, but it's not going to happen. In Northern Ireland, Gerry Adams made the unfortunate announcement: the IRA have not gone away. Then, with the funeral of Bobby Storey, he was evident there at the front of the parade with the leaders, the women leaders of Sinn Féin. Sinn Féin is the political wing of the IRA and have not moved away from the IRA. How can the Protestant Loyalists, paramilitaries stand down when the IRA are still active? It's not going to happen, unfortunately. I, like many other people, were hoping after the Good Friday Peace Accord that things would change in Ireland. First of all, civil rights for all. And I think that in general has happened. More money going into Northern Ireland, even though it's subsidised by the British. Some Republicans and IRA have the belief that they defeated the British Army and the Loyalists. Sorry, it didn't happen. What they defeated was the British government, and they did that by the bomb in London, blowing up the financial square mile of London. The Bank of England is owned by the world bankers, not by the British, the same as the Bank of America. It's owned by the bankers. So the bankers forced the British, Irish and Americans around the table to come up with a peace accord so that the financial centre was not targeted again. It was worthwhile buying off the IRA, and Gerry Adams took the money, the very rich man, still protected in Northern Ireland, still getting more compensation. And that is on top of bank robberies and the guy that walked out with £27 million. How can one man walk out with £27 million from a bank? That was money to appease the IRA, to keep them quiet. The people, IRA, that starved themselves to death, Bobby Sands, must have turned in their graves when Gerry Adams took the money. He died for a United Ireland, not for money. I like the comments when an Irishman turns round and says, an Englishman cannot talk about the troubles of your United Ireland. And I haven't studied Irish history. Well, I don't study Irish history with blinkers on. I read and try and understand both parties in conflicts and the reason why. Is it taught in Irish schools that St. Patrick was an Englishman? When he was a young boy, 16, 17, he was captured by a raiding party from Ireland that took him back to Ireland and made him a slave for 7 years. Our children in Ireland taught that. How he went back to England after 7 years when he escaped and became a priest in England and returned to Ireland. No, I don't think that's taught. Another couple of people. Wolf Tone. Oh, an Irishman. He wasn't Irish. He was French. And he was supporting the French. 2 times he tried to bring the French invading army into Ireland. If it wasn't for the English, they'd be all talking French. He got captured in French uniform, and he didn't want to be hung as a traitor. He wanted to be shot because he was a soldier of the French. I don't think that's told what they tell you in some books, that he tried to unite the Catholics and Protestants to fight the English. Yeah, he did. He was a Protestant, but the main thing he was French. Then another couple of people, Roger Casement, Erskine Tillis, who were prominent in the Easter Uprising. Anglo-Irish, English-Irish, possibly born in England. So were they Irish? Another guy, let's think, Eamon de Oliveira, the Prime Minister of Ireland for a long time. The man that was one of the reasons that caused the Irish Civil War. He had a lot of blood on his hands. He was born in America, New York. He was American. He hated the British. He didn't want any peace agreement with the British. He favoured the Germans. When Hitler was killed himself, he went to the German embassy and signed the Book of Condolence. Yeah. And he was a denier of the Holocaust. That's how much he hated the English. He wouldn't fight fascists. And every Irishman that fought against the fascists of Hitler, he punished them after the war. He made them carry a book to show that they'd fought not for Ireland, but for the United Kingdom and America.